it's been quite a year, and I think it was absolutely a year to look back on with pride. I think the Montgomery County Council truly set the gold standard for commitment and hard work to move our community forward. Principally, you'll recall this was an education first year, entering into a historic and unprecedented partnership with the Board of Education. We took their budget both for instruction and construction to the highest levels ever funded. We followed that up with tightening the school capacity test for development, and we significantly increased school impact taxes. As a result of our budget decisions, students and parents are now getting more teachers, para-educators, counselors, and other student support positions, as well as expanded programs to support achievement goals and enhance college and career readiness. What's more, we're on track to construct school revitalizations and additions sooner than expected. I want to especially recognize Craig Rice, the chair of the Education Committee, for his leadership and advocacy, particularly with respect to the opportunity gap he has prioritized us in addressing. And while we're on the subject of education and opportunities for youth, I especially want to congratulate Councilmember Nancy Navarro for partnering with the Norman and Ruth Rales Foundation, MCPS, to bring the Building Educated Leaders for Life summer program to more than 1,000 students annually from Title I schools, as well as her dedication to early childhood education initiatives. You guys are great. Certainly, we focused heavily on education this year, but this was not our only priority. We focused on health and welfare, including prohibiting minors from using indoor tanning devices and mandating food allergen awareness training in restaurants. And for those residents who aren't sure where their next meal will come from, we thank Roger Berliner for leading the charge to create a strategic plan to reduce food insecurity in our county. We also focused on equality, fairness, and lending a helping hand by creating a new property tax credit for seniors, tightening wage reporting requirements to ensure workers are paid a living wage, and ensuring workers can take parental leave. Also, Montgomery County now benefits from a mental health court designed to address the challenges of increasing numbers of people committing minor crimes due to mental illness, and thanks in part to Sid Katz's participation on the Mental Health Court Planning and Implementation Task Force, people who've committed crimes due to a mental illness can access a structured program for treatment. As a result of Mark Elrich's landlord-tenant bill, renters can look forward to greater transparency about their rights and obligations under a lease, as well as an enhanced focus on inspections and enforcement with regard to health and safety issues. In the category of good government, I want to recognize George Leventhal for introducing the bill that established a salary schedule for heads of county departments and principal offices, thereby ensuring better transparency and accountability. And I also recognize Hans Reamer for spearheading the effort to win a Department of Labor grant to study paid family and medical leave throughout the county, thereby helping chart the best path forward. What a team. It's been a really big year in terms of business and development. We launched the privatized Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation to give economic development a real shot in the arm. And we've welcomed its first executive director. I'm really excited about this. We put our business community in charge of our business development program, and that's really an outstanding achievement for this county. In our land use planning efforts, we focused on supporting and modernized existing communities. We're completing the work on Littonsville, which will join the sector plan work on Montgomery Village and Westbard to encourage appropriate reinvestment in those areas. Of course, we spent many hours updating the subdivision staging policy and subdivision regulations. They'll modernize our processes for development, tightening tests, adding clarity to often misunderstood regulations that will guide our future, and it will support the infrastructure that the future needs. Of course, legislation is only part of the work we do here. There have been quite a few challenging community issues this past year. There's no better example of that type of constituent service than that of Tom Hucker and his deep involvement with families affected by the explosion and fire at the Flower Branch Apartments in Silver Spring. And frankly, in fact, public outreach to our more than 1 million residents has been a real hallmark of this body. We tried to count it all up. We ran out of fingers. This year, the council as a whole held 4 town hall meetings, a public forum on cell towers, and 52 public hearings. Individual council members, this is where we lost track, held dozens more town halls, forums, and special events in their districts for special populations. This is a council that likes to meet with people face to face. And you can find at least one of our sponsored events just about every week of the year, and often more. In 2016, we made great strides in reaching more people and doing it in more ways, reflecting a county that's becoming more tech savvy and at the same time more diverse. We've aggressively expanded our use of social media to better inform residents about issues and about council actions. We've got thousands of followers on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And in order to expand our outreach, we have staff dedicated to outreach in our Hispanic and Asian communities. And we've also greatly improved our immediacy this year. You can now get video summaries of many council actions and key discussions the day they happen. Our cable station, County Cable Montgomery, was recognized with a local Emmy for its outstanding communications work. When you think about it, it is really quite an array of community connection successes. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't address one big issue of the last year or so, and it makes me sad. It's a seismic shift in the way our country engages in public discourse. We've seen a dramatic increase in vitriolic speech, and of course, a prevalence of style over substance. It seems that the news media has been crippled by the overwhelming task of fact-finding and fact-checking. The American public is showing signs of political fatigue no matter what their party affiliation. And although we like to think of ourselves as somewhat insulated from the national trends here, the truth is it's occurred here as well. Unfortunately, we've seen some acts of vandalism, hate speech, harassment, and that's made folks understandably jittery. Many council members and their staffs have experienced more impoliteness, the lack of civility in the course of their everyday work, and that can be pretty dispiriting. But we can't let that get in the way. The work we do represents our future, and we're really fortunate to be in this unique position to be able to shape it for the better. It's with the particular challenges of this past year in mind that I really want to say thank you to all my colleagues, our friends in the audience, our staffs, for all what you do to make our little corner of the world a better place. When you look at the list, you don't think about it until you look at the list of achievements, and we've circulated one that has a remarkable statement of who we are as a council. You should feel really proud of yourselves. On a personal note, I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Judy Jablow, for her sage advice and her outstanding leadership among the confidential aides. Thank you, Judy. Yay! And of course, the rest of my staff, Ruth Ann Iser, Jocelyn Rabat, and Teddy Osias, I know that each of my colleagues as well feels equally grateful to their own personal staffs. We're grateful to you all. And of course, we're indebted to the larger council team, the fifth floor analysts, the support staff, the Office of Legislative Oversight, and the Legislative Information Office. You are the backbone of this organization, and we are deeply grateful to you. You help us do the right thing. You are remarkable in terms of your talent, resources, and advice. You know, success is no accident. It takes hard work, patience, perseverance, learning, trust, collaboration, commitment, a dose of good humor thrown in. But that, by any definition, By any definition, this has been a most successful year, I think, for this council. You've all demonstrated these qualities, and for that, our county has been really well served. It's been my deep privilege to lead you this past year, and I'm sure that next year will be equally outstanding. Thank you all.